What's up, Bucko Nation? Welcome to the Cone Hoisters Weekly Podcast, where we recap the past week in Buccos baseball and discuss all things Pirates related. I'm Mason Spesky, your host. Tonight's agenda is pretty clear. We're going to do some housekeeping real quick. I promise it's going to be really quick tonight. I'm going to try at least. There's not a lot to talk about also. We'll do that. Then we'll get into the past week in Bucko baseball. We will then discuss the MLB standings and take a look at those. Do a little bit of trade deadline talking there. We'll then do minor league baseball standings, talk about that a bit, see how our farm teams are doing, minor league teams. Talk about our top prospects. We'll talk a little bit about the MLB draft this weekend and who the Pirates selected and how that fits into their future long-term plans. We'll then discuss more of the trade deadline, which prospects could be on their way out in potential trades for bullpen arm and bullpen help. There was a trade the Pirates made. We will talk about that trade when we get to that portion, so I will address that trade for sure. We'll do trade deadline talk. That's when we'll address it. And then we will look ahead to the series against the Guardians, the New York Yankees, and the Chicago Cubs. And I will talk about why we're talking about the Cubs here in a minute. But we'll recap. First off, obviously, we'll recap the Braves and the Brewers. But that is right after housekeeping, which we're going to get started with right now. But I'll just be more crystal clear again because I forgot that. First, obviously, housekeeping, which we're going to start in 2 minutes. Then we'll recap the Braves and Brewers homestand. Then we'll look at standings. We'll talk about we'll do the minor league standings. We'll do some trade deadline talk with the standings too, yeah. For major league, not minor. But then we'll look at minor league standings. Top prospects. We'll talk about the draft a little bit, what the Pirates did and what they could have done better, should have done better, could have done worse. So we'll talk about that more. Minor league baseball, or what they did well, we'll put it that. The MLB trade deadline, we'll address that some. And then we'll preview, obviously, the trip against Cleveland and New York. And then the home series, Yinzerpalooza weekend against the Cubs. I can't believe we're already there, guys. Like, it flew by so quick. All right, housekeeping things. There's not a lot today. But looking at the calendar, there are 2 quick things I want to discuss. Number 1, as I had mentioned, there will be no show next Sunday, July 19th. The reason for this is because the All-Star break is this week. We obviously have the Home Run Derby tomorrow night. There are no Pirates in that. We have the All-Star game Tuesday night in Philadelphia. There are Pirates in that. Paul Skeens, Braxton Ashcraft were named All-Stars. They are not pitching, though. Here's some, I think those were your only 2 Pirates All-Stars, Skeens and Ashcraft, but I just want to check to confirm. Shohei's not playing in the game, though, which is interesting. Yeah, Ashcraft's an All-Star, but not playing. Skeens, same thing. So those are your 2 Pirates All-Stars this year. I hope they enjoy Philly, for sure. They deserve it, and that's going to be great. It's a 96th edition, too, so that'll be fun. If you want a prediction, I'll just give it to you right now. I think the NL is going to win 8-5. That's just my guess. Doesn't mean anything anymore, unfortunately, but I do think the NL wins. But yeah, that's why we're not doing a show next week, because it's obviously the All-Stars. There won't be 2 series. So like the first week, we will just do the free shows, or the free series, the Guardian series, the Yankees series, and the Cubs series, all as one. And that will be in 2 weeks. So again, no show July 19th. We'll be back July the 26th. And July the 26th, we'll start our MVP rankings. I will rank by 5 guys who I think the Pirates MVP will be. And the ultimate MVP final rankings will be conducted where I name my team MVP for the year. That'll be conducted during our final show, our season recap show, which, if the team doesn't make the playoffs, is tentatively scheduled for Monday, September 28th. However, if they make the playoffs, which I hope they do, that will change. But hopefully this show is not until November because we won the World Series. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But that's really all I have for housekeeping. That's it. Oh, one more thing. Steelers Live 412, obviously my Steelers themed version of this, as I've talked about many times, is coming out on this July 26th. That same Sunday our next show will be. That's when Steelers Live 412 is out as well. I'll have more information on Steelers Live 412 on July 26th. And the University of Pittsburgh Panthers version is coming out August 16th. So you will see more of that and hear more of that in August. So keep an eye out for those for sure. But that's really all I have now for key dates. So let's get into the week for the Pirates. It was a very good week. They had a homestand where they went 4-2, so let's get into it. Tuesday night against the Braves, a 12-4 victory. This was the Ryan O'Hearn game. Ryan O'Hearn lit up the Pittsburgh sky like fireworks. 3 home runs and a single, 10 RBIs, the most RBIs by a Pirate in one day. One game. He had the current call moment. I was so happy for Ryan O'Hearn. Nobody deserves it more than him. That was so freaking awesome. It was so good to get a win as well on a skiing start. So that was great. I'm so happy about that. That made my day. So great job by O'Hearn. Great to see the 10 RBIs, and Skeen's got the win. That's huge. That is so freaking huge that Skeen's got a win. It stops the curse. He had a great start as well, so great day for both of them. But yeah. Also, 2 from Tuesday night. When I was there, I saw it, but thoughts and prayers with everybody affiliated with the former Grandview United Presbyterian Church. It caught on fire. It's on Mount Washington. It caught on fire during this game. You could see the fire from PNC. It was really bad. It was not a pretty fire at all, to say the least. And yeah, just wasn't a good scene. The church did close its doors to the public. They had their last mass, I want to say December 31st, 2022. But still a very, very devastating fire. So my hearts and prayers go out to everybody affected. Fortunately, there were no fatalities from this, I believe. And one firefighter was taken to the hospital, but hopefully he's okay. So thoughts and prayers with him. But anyway, Pirates win that game 12-4. This was a great win for sure. Very happy about this. Wednesday night was one of the more disappointing losses of the year. It was a 3-0 loss at the hands of the Atlanta Braves again. This game was in great shape for 6. Or was it 5 or 6? I think it was 6. 6, yeah. Jared Jones had a perfect game for 6 innings. Best start since returning from the IL. And unfortunately, Kelly did make what I thought wasn't the best decision, put in Montgomery. Montgomery did fine. And then they turned to, I forget who it was. I think it was Johan, maybe in the top of the 8th. Or no, was it Johan or Santana in the top of the 8th? Allowed a home run to former Pirate Joey Bart. And this gave the Braves a 2-0 lead. Mike Yastrzemski had a double. Jake Mangum, unfortunately, overthrew the catcher. It was 3-0 at this point, and this is how the game ended. I just was upset that they pitched Carmen, and I think Santana. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see this. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm sorry. Sorry about this. But anyway, people were upset that they didn't pitch. They pitched Carmen on Tuesday night when we were up big because of O'Hearn instead of Wednesday night. Yeah, that was a bad decision. It just was. Stop pitching him in blowouts. I think they've done better with that. They did a good job at that this weekend for sure. But it was dumb to pitch him Tuesday night. The way they're handling this is really dumb in a regard. No, Matson pitched the ninth. Santana pitched the 8th, allowed the 2 runs, the home run, and then Matson pitched the 9th. It's 3-0. But come on now. Seriously. We would have won this game if we would have pitched Carmen or Soto or somebody else. Come on. And then the bullpen management on Thursday and a 10-5 loss to the Braves was just insane. We lost to the Braves 10-5. They stormed out to a 3-0 lead. We climbed back and got 2 to cut it to 3-2. Then they made it 6-2. Then we made it 6-5. Mangum helped with that for sure. It was a triple or something short of the cycle. So very close to the cycle at 6-5. But then, of course, we've Soto come out early. And I think the 7th, which was very bizarre. In the top of the 9th, after a delay, we have Mike Yastrzemski come up and hit a home run, a grand slam, to make it 10-5, and that's your final. Come on now. The bullpen management was awful in this series, and that is why we lost this series to the Braves. It wasn't because of anything the player. It was just bad bullpen management. And that falls on Kelly, unfortunately. Like, I'm so happy with Kelly right now because he had a great weekend. But you have to talk about how bad the bullpen management was this series. Like, it was horrible. And that's what I think you have to look at the end of the day. Just bad. Like, come on now. Be better. Like, come on. Yeah, for sure. But this was a series loss to the Braves. I'm not surprised in the least we lost this series to the Atlanta Braves. I thought we would. Oh well, that's life. Anyway, Friday night, the game unfortunately got postponed because of second line of storms that I don't believe even ever hit the city of Pittsburgh, which is insane, but it was a postponed game. They still have fireworks though. They made it up, but the Pirates delayed their version of fireworks, the offense, till Saturday. They took down the Brewers yesterday afternoon in game 1, 7-6, behind his Maryland Valdez 2 home runs, including the game-winning grand slam in the bottom of the 7th. Greg Brown called it best. He's not a magician. He's a monster. His nickname's the Magician. He does this when he hits a home run. I freaking love it. It's so great, and I think it's kind of cute, too. I'm not saying that because I'm a guy, but that was weird. But I think the celebration's cute. Like, obviously, I don't think... I'm straight, put it that. Probably shouldn't have even said that on here, but anyway, I take that back. But I think his home run celebration's cute. That's what I meant. I apologize. My bad. But anyway, the home run celebration in and of itself, I like it. I think it's funny. But anyway, I love his home run celebration. Sorry if that upset anybody, by the way. I never meant it to upset anybody, so just remember that. But anyway, Pirates win 7-6. That was a big win for sure. Great job by Valdez. And great way to end the game with Soto there. I know the bases were... Like, this is a situation that gives Pirate fans, obviously, maximum stress, and rightfully so. Soto's on the mound. Bases loaded. Top of the 9th inning. Hits the ball... Andrew Vaughn hits the ball hard to Nick Gonzalez. Nicky G. Nicky G grabs it. Goes... Touches third. Rightfully so. Goes home. Henry Davis tags the guy coming home. I forget his name. And we win 7-6. So great execution, great discipline, great fundamentals. So happy we won this game. Game 2, I think, was the more impressive of the victory. Valdez hit another home run, and Reynolds hit a single scoring wow. I think it was a single scoring wow to make it to give us a 3-2 win. Bubba Chandler pitched another great game. He's on the rise. He's really heating up. That's good to see for sure. So good to see. That was a huge, huge, huge doubleheader sweep. I could not be more happy with what happened and how we swept the Brewers. Then this afternoon, the offense went on a storming out to a 4-0 lead on the Brewers. The Brewers did cut it back to 4-2 in the top of the 4th, but in the bottom of the 4th, this offense went wild, scoring 10 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning to make it 14-4 sweep of the Brewers on Country Weekend. They need to do Country Weekend now every single year because we swept them. So hopefully it's a tradition now because I thought it was great. But anyway, great sweep, 14-4. I was so happy. This is the sweep you needed to be your catalyst. I'm going to spoil the surprise for the standings episode, but we're only 2 back in the standings right now of the Marlins for the last wild card. That's a big freaking deal, guys. You don't know how big of a deal that is. We're in a great position right now heading into the All-Star break. This sweep was so good. I'm so happy we got this sweep. We did great. This is probably the best series of the year. I'm so happy about it. Great sweep, great series, great homestand. Skeens got 2 wins this homestand. O'Hearn went off Tuesday night. Valdez, obviously the magician he is, had a good one. And we had a great Country Weekend. We may have lost series to the Braves. Oh well, that's life. But we swept the first place team in our division at home. And we're 5-1 against them now in the year. Whether you know it or not, that's a big deal, and that makes me feel so good right now. 50-47 at the All-Star game break. Not ideal, but I'll certainly take it. At the beginning of the year, I predicted 85-77. If we go 35-30 the rest of the way, we hit that. That's very doable. And that would be progress in and of itself. This team is heading in the right direction. We have a future. We have the pieces. We can fill it. I couldn't be more happy or proud right now to be a Pirates fan. We're going to be around, guys. We're going to be around. That's all I have to say. Great homestand and all that, but now we're moving at a great pace, so let's get to our star of the week. Obviously, this was a tough one because Bubba Chandler had a great series. He did a great job. Great job by Chandler, as I just said. Skeens was phenomenal. 2 wins this week. Bounce back for sure. Great job by Paul Skeens. Again, the Magician did great. He had a good week for sure. Great series against the Brewers, but he was the star of the week last week as well. He had 3 home runs. Won us the game yesterday. Helped propel us to the sweep. Great week by him. I'm writing him down because I didn't get him last week. But ultimately, I hate to say it and I hate to be rude. Jared Jones did great as well, so great by him. There's like 8 players deserving of the Star of the Week award. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I decided the Star of the Week Tuesday night. I really did, and I held that conviction since Tuesday, and I'm not going back. The Star of the Week this week for the second time in 3 weeks, obviously, is Ryan O'Hearn. You can't deny what happened on Tuesday night. You legit can't. And here's why. He has the record now for most RBIs in the game. He had 3 home runs in 1 game. Like, do you know how, including a grand slam, so he had a grand slam too. Do you know how hard that is? Like, there's, I think, it's very close. The amount of perfect games in MLB history and the amount of, like, 10 RBI games or what O'Hearn did. He's in Pirates history now. He's in baseball history now. So, he earned this. It was decided Tuesday night. It's Ryan O'Hearn. Like, I can't not. After that performance Tuesday, I just can't justify giving it to anybody else. If I had to pick somebody else, your number 2 ranking would be Valdez. Your number 3 ranking would be Skeens. 4 would be Jones. And 5 would be Chandler. Those are the 5 that are truly deserving of it. It was rather close, I will say, between him and Valdez. I knew Valdez did have a case, and he started on. He definitely will likely win it again this year, but you gotta give it to Ryan O'Hearn. What he did was phenomenal, so God bless him. Great job by him. Very happy. That's your Star of the Week. And here's the list of the Stars of the Week, too, if anybody wants to take a look. So that's that. Let's talk some MLB standings now, because this is a big deal as we approach the deadline 3 weeks out. All right, we'll go real quick through the division now. Then we'll get to the wild card for sure. And then we'll talk about buyers, sellers, or in between. All right, rapid fire now. Tampa Bay AL East. Let's start with the AL East now, shall we? Leading that division, the Tampa Bay Rays, 56-38. Second place, the New York Yankees at 54-42, 3 games back. Third, the freaking red-hot Boston Red Sox. They had a phenomenal week, phenomenal road trip. 46-48, 10 back. Fourth, you have the Baltimore Orioles, who are 46-51, 11.5 back, who are getting hot too. And then you have the Toronto Blue Jays, 45-51, 12 back. So you kind of knew that division would catch fire eventually. It's a talented division. Every team's really good. Here they come now. It's going to be an insane finish to the AL season. I can't wait for that. AL Central, Chicago White Sox, 50-45. They lead that division. Guardians, 51-46. They're tied with the White Sox for the lead in that division. Third, Derek Shelton's Minnesota Twins, 48-49. 3 back into the division. They're playing really good as well. Fourth, the Detroit Tigers. They're getting red hot too. 44-52. 6.5 back in that division. Fifth, you have the Kansas City Royals. 38-59. 13 back in the division. Next up, AL West. This is probably the worst division right now in baseball. But you have the Rangers leading it at 49 and 47. Second, you have the Mariners, 48 and 49. They're a game and a half back. Third, you have the Astros, 47 and 51. A little cooler now, 3 back. Fourth, you have the Athletics, 41 and 55, 8 back. And fifth, you have the Los Angeles Angels of 38 and 59, 11 and a half games back. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the AL finishes. It's going to be a photo finish for sure. It'll be great. I can't wait for that. Because all the teams are going to be fighting for playoff spots. This is going to be fun, the AL, for sure. The NL will be as well, so let's get into that now, shall we? This is all at the All-Star break, too, so this is pretty significant. What the standings are at the All-Star break, for sure. Braves, you're 55 and 40, leading that division. Second, we have the Phillies at 54 and 43. They're 2 games back. Third, you have the Marlins at 52 and 45. They're 4 back. Fourth, you have the Washington Nationals, a little bit on a decline now, 48 and 49, 8 back. And then fifth, you have the lowly New York Mets at 40 and 57, 16 games back. They're done. They're just so done. They're so bad. NL Central time now. Let's talk about that. First place in our division, Milwaukee Brewers, who we just swept by 59 and 37, leading that our division. Second place, you got the Cubs, 54 and 42, 5 back. Third, you have the Cardinals at 50 and 45, 8.5 back. Fourth, you have us at 50 and 47, 9.5 back. And fifth, you have the Reds, who are not very good right now. They're really slumping, 43 and 52, 15.5 back. So it's not good for them at all. Now on to the NL West. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the defending champion, 61 and 36, leading that division. It's got a little better, but it's still kind of a blowout in terms of that division, who's good and who's not. Diamondbacks, 49 47, 11.5 back. I still think that division's somewhat over, but not really. Anything can happen, but I doubt anybody passes the Dodgers. I doubt it. Padres, they're even at 500, 48 and 48, 12.5 back. Fourth, the Giants, 41 and 55, 19.5 back. And fifth, you have the Colorado Rockies at 39 and 59, 22.5 back. All right, let's do wild cards now. Then we'll do hottest team in each league and coldest team in each league for the week. And then we'll talk about trade deadline buyers and sellers. AL time now. Let's look at the wild card standings. Leading the American League at the All-Star break, the AL East, the American League, and the number 1 seed in the AL, the Tampa Bay Rays. Second, leading the AL Central, the All-Star break, the Chicago White Sox. Third, leading the AL West at the All-Star break, the Texas Rangers. Did I get something on my arm? I don't think so. It's just arm hair. But anyway, sorry about that, too. This is a little crazy. But third, Texas Rangers, 49 47. They are your free seed and your AL West leader. Now let's do some AL wild cards, shall we? The first AL wild card and the 4th seed, 6.5 games up. The New York Yankees. The 5th seed in your second AL wild card, the Cleveland Guardians, who are 3 games up. The 3rd AL wild card, the 6th seed, and the 6th seed, the 3rd AL wild card, and the last team in the American League postseason, if it ended today, are the Seattle Mariners. They're tied with our first team out, the Minnesota Twins. So that's your first team out. Next up, we have the Red Sox, who are half game back of the Mariners. Then we have the Astros, who are 1.5 back. Orioles, you're 2 back. Blue Jays, you're 2.5 back. Tigers, sorry about the burping. Tigers, you're 3.5 back. Athletics, you're 6.5 back. Royals are 10 back. And the Angels are 10 back as well. So that's that. Let's talk now about the NL. At the All-Star break, leading the National League West, the National League, and Major League Baseball, your number 1 seed, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not a surprise in the least. The only team to 60 wins per All-Star break. Does that surprise you? It doesn't surprise me. No. Your second seed, leading the NL Central, the team we just swept, the Milwaukee Brewers. The Diamondbacks I think they took 3 against the Dodgers. That's huge. Wow. Because the Dodgers are on a 3-game losing streak too. That's huge for the wild card, Jay. So yeah, that'll be a good series in 2 weeks here in Pittsburgh. I can't wait for that. But anyway, the Brewers are your second team and your NL Central leaders. Your free seed leading the NL East, the Atlanta Braves. So that's that. NL wildcard time now. Your 4th seed and the first NL wildcard. I'll flip them again next time. The Chicago Cubs, you're 2.5 up. Your fifth seed and the second NL wildcard, or the second NL wildcard and the 5th seed. Sorry about that. The Philadelphia Phillies, you're 2 up. Your 3rd NL wildcard, the 6th seed, and the last team in the National League postseason, if it ended today, the Miami Marlins. The first team out right now in the National League is the St. Louis Cardinals, who are 1 out. We are 2 out. The Diamondbacks are 2.5 out. The Padres are 3.5 out. The Nationals are 4 out. The Reds are 8 out. The Giants are 10.5 out. The Mets are 12 out. And the Rockies are 13.5 out. There's going to be changes to how we do the standings after the All-Star break, I should probably mention. Here's what I'll do. And this will start July 26th. If you are 10 or more games out on July 26th, you're probably not making the playoffs, in my opinion. So I'll just say irrelevant when I say 10.5. On August 16th, that's 3 weeks, if you're 8 out, you're probably not making the postseason. So I'll say mostly irrelevant. Or I'll say mostly irrelevant for all this, because anything could happen, but it's highly unlikely. On September the 6th, if you're 5 games out or more, I'll say mostly irrelevant because you're probably not getting in. On September the 13th, September 13th, if you're 4 games out, I will say mostly irrelevant because you're probably not getting in. Actually, for August 16th, we'll change that to 7.5. And then on September 20th, if you're 3 games out or more, I will say probably mostly irrelevant because you're probably not getting in or you're eliminated at that point. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that will be coming, and we'll do kind of like a playoff bracket simulation somewhat where I'd predict the matchups as they are, but we'll save that for 2 weeks for sure. Things are going to get so much spicier in here in 2 weeks, and I can't wait for it. But anyway, if anybody's going to knock Miami out of this playoff spot right now, it's going to be either us, the Diamondbacks, or the Padres. And I think we have the best chance. That Diamondback series in 2 weeks will be huge. And we play in San Diego in late August. That will be a huge series as well. I don't think the Nationals will get in. They're 4 out right now, and they're starting to slump. I think it's going to catch up to them, and I think they'll be like a 75-87 or 76-86 team this year. Obviously, I don't think the Reds, Giants, Mets, or Rockies have it. I think it's either going to be us. The last wild card, I think, will either be us, the Marlins, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres. So that will be an insane race for sure, and I can't wait for that. Very exciting. Alrighty, let's talk about the hottest team and the coldest team in each league this week. We'll start with the hottest team in the National League. It's pretty darn freaking obvious. The Boston Red Sox are 9-1. They're on a 9-game win streak. They just swept a 9-game road trip. They're going to return to Fenway on Friday night with so much hoops and yo-yo. It's going to be so freaking awesome there Friday night for them. They're on a start. They could get in. So they're 9-1. The Red Sox are back. They're the hottest team in the AL this week and the hottest team in baseball. So yeah, keep an eye out for them. The NL, your hottest team right now, are the Pittsburgh freaking Pirates. Let's give it up for the Pirates. 7-3 in our last 10. 2 games out of the playoff spot. We're striking right now. We just got to keep this momentum. We've got to have this momentum in September. We're finally the hottest team in the NL right now, guys. I can't freaking believe it. I'm so happy to report that to you guys. Good to see for sure, baby. So, yeah, I'm so happy right now about that. I'm so freaking happy right now. We are now 2 games out. We're right in the thick of this. Guys, if this continues, the August and September shows for the weekly show are so much fun. So hop on the Pirates Live 412 bandwagon right now. Great things are coming. I can't freaking wait, guys. This is awesome. Just do this in August and September. We're going to get into the playoffs. This could get really good. This could get real freaking good, Pittsburgh. So I'm excited, if you can tell. AL, the coldest team right now. They start out strong, but they're not really strong right now. The losers have 9 straight. The Athletics, they're 1-9. Not good at all. Not good at all. In the exact opposite direction of the Red Sox at this All-Star break. And in the National League, I start to get tired. the coolest team right now is a mix of teams that are 4-6. The Cardinals, the Nats, the Reds, the Mets, and the Rockies. They're 4-6. They're your coolest teams of the league. So not bad, but not good either. Alrighty, let's readjust buyers and sellers. Last week we did this. We put teams in the buyers and the sellers categories. So yeah, let's tie some trade deadline here. This week we are 22 days out from the deadline, less than 22 days out actually from the deadline here. So let's talk some buyers and sellers as of today, July 12th. We'll obviously readjust to 2 weeks, July 26th, and that'll be 1 week out. So that's big. So let's talk some baseball now. In the American League, your buyers, Tampa Bay, Texas, I say Texas should buy. Yankees, Guardians, and Mariners, and Red Sox. The Red Sox are now in the buyers tier officially because they're a half game out, and I think with this roster and all that, they could easily get in and make noise. So they're a buyer in my opinion. So again, your AL buyers right now are Tampa, Texas, Yankees, Guardians, Red Sox. That's 5 teams that need to be buying right now. Your sellers in the AL. The Angels, the Royals, and the Athletics, and the Tigers. I know the Tigers are 3.5 out, and they're red hot right now, but still, they've got to sell. They have too many pieces to sell right now. They're probably not getting in. They're 3.5 out. I know that's a lot, not a lot, but the margin right now with all the teams ahead of them, I don't see a path to them getting in, unfortunately. So I think they still do need to sell. They have too many prized assets, and they could set themselves up well, especially since that division is going to get better every year moving forward here for a while. The White Sox are on the rise. The Guardians are obviously a good team. The Twins are starting to get better, although I think they're always going to stay mid. They'll never be anything elite as long as Shelton's there. I don't think the Royals are going to be competitive for a while. I think they should tear down and rebuild maybe next year. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe the trade deadline will pave way for that. I think the Angels are getting ready to rebuild. The A's could get some young talent in before they head out to Vegas. So that would be good for sure. Obviously, we talk about the Tigers. So yeah. Everyone else, if I did not say you right now, you're in the middle. I don't think you're a buyer yet, but I don't think you're a seller yet either. I will have more to say closer to the time. Hopefully July 26th. I'll have more to talk about there for sure. Anyway, let's look at the NL now. Your buyers, I think the list is pretty clear. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the Brewers, the Braves, the Cubs, the Phillies, the Pirates, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres. I think you can move the Padres from the sellers to the buyers tier now because they're not out of it yet. This team could easily get hot quick. The Diamondbacks, I think, they have a good roster. They could easily get in. They're a buyer. Pirates are now a buyer. Obviously, as I said, we're going to buy, and I think that's the right move. Your sellers right now. The Rockies, the Mets, the Giants, the Reds. I'm not going to put the Nationals in this category yet, but I'm dangerously close to. If they really slump in these next 10 days out of the All-Star break, they're going to have to sell. They know they have a bright future ahead of them. Maybe get another prospect piece or two in there that could really perform well and set yourselves up well for 2028 and beyond. So that would be great for Washington. They still had a great stretch, though, but they're going to be around for a long time, too, and they're good because they have good people running that team. But the Reds, the Giants, the Mets, and the Rockies are definitely sellers. So that's that. Let's look at some guys possibly right now that they could be targeting. MLB rumors first. CBS Sports. The Rays are ready to be buyers. That's Utes. They're going to buy. Mariners are shopping Luis Castillo. They could move him. That's big. Clay Holmes is open to an extension with the Mets. Orioles might look to sell. They were originally going to buy, but they might sell. We'll see that. So yeah, that's them. Right now, let's look at the top candidates to be traded. Here's the July 6th. This is a July 6th update ranking the top trade deadline candidates. I'll do the top 10 for you guys because this is big. Tariq Skubal. Obviously, is the big one. Detroit's likely to trade him, and he'll likely get a good return for sure. Byron Buxton, number 2, but I doubt he gets traded. 3rd, Jeremy Pena. I think they should trade him, but I don't think they will. 4th, Joe Ryan from the Twins. He'll likely get trading him as well. 5th, C.J. Abrams of the Nationals, but I doubt they trade him. 6th, Reed Detmers of the Angels. They could trade him, but I don't think so. Potentially. 7th, Young-Hoo Lee of the Giants. I think they'll trade him, potentially, because they're going to look to tear down, and rightfully so. 8th, Casey Mize, Detroit. I think they will trade him, it looks like. 9, Luis Arraez, Giants. This is somebody I'd like to get for sure. The Pirates should make a move on him. He has control for the rest of this year, but he will likely get traded. And 10th, Aroldis Chapman. This is another guy I think I would like to get. He's not my first choice, but he will probably get traded. I would like to see us make a move on him. Other guys have a high chance of being traded, above 50% according to this. Those are your top 10, but we'll only do above 50% for non-top 10. Foster Griffin, Nationals. He's ranked 19. Just the remainder of 26. I do think he'll be traded. Michael Wacha at 50% for the Royals. He has one more year of control left. 21st, Ryan Jeffers, catcher for the Twins. I think he'll be traded. I would like to see us make a move on him. I think we could possibly get him to complement Endy or Henry, but I don't think we will. We don't really need a catcher, so I don't doubt it. Next, 22nd, Robbie Ray. He will likely be traded 90%. Maybe the White Sox or the Cubs will make a move there. 23rd, Mickey Moniak, 60%. An outfielder for the Rockies. 24th, Taylor Ward, Baltimore, 75%. Just the rest of 2026, these two guys have as well. Or Moniak has one more year. Taylor Ward, I don't think we should trade for him, but I don't think he'd be bad either. Freddie Peralta, 25th. He's likely to get traded as well, 90%. Yeah. So that's that. Those are your top other candidates. So that's what we're looking at right now for the trade deadline for top guys to be dealt. Now let's talk some minor league baseball standings. Sally. Starting off with our minor league team in Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Indians. In the second half of the season right now, they are in first place in the International League West. So out to them. Good job by them. 11-7. 3 games back of the league lead, though, who's held by Durham Bulls of Tampa Bay. That's their minor league team. They're leading the whole league. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Indy, though, is 11-7. 7-3 in their last 10. So that's a great place to be right now. If you're the Indianapolis Indians, great place to be. So, yeah, we're leading the International League West. That's Jude's. Now, on to AA, Eastern League. +2, they don't have that many guys right now because all the guys are up here for the Pirates because of all our injuries. So, good for them. Great job, Indianapolis. Great week by the Pirates and Indy. Altoona, our Eastern League team, our AA team in the Eastern League. In the Eastern League Southwest, they are unfortunately 7-11. 7 games back of the Erie Seawolves of Detroit for the lead in that division. They're 4-6 in their last 10. That's just not good enough, unfortunately. Portland, who's with Boston, is 11-7 and leading the Eastern League. They're tied with the Reading Fighting Phils for that. Now to High A, the South Atlantic League. The Greensboro Grasshoppers, 13-8, leading the South Atlantic League North Division. A game and a half lead over the Frederick Keys, who are with Baltimore. They're 4-6, though, the Greensboro Grasshoppers, in their past 10 games, so that's not good. But they're still tied for the lead with Bowling Green, who's with Tampa Bay, for the whole South Atlantic League. So good job by them. Our minor leagues are doing good, too. Man, our future could be something. Our future can really be bright, guys. This is a moment, too. I know Charrington has had his screw-ups, but you really have to give Ben Charrington a round of applause here because farm system is really good. It's good. Major league teams clicking. I think we have good things ahead, guys. Dominican Summer League Central now. The DSL Pirates Gold team, 14-16. 3 back of the DSL Cubs Blue. Our team is 5-5 in their last 10. Now on to Dominican Summer League, the other team. The Dominican Summer League. The DSL Pirates Black in the Dominican Summer League Southwest. They are 15 and 13. Free back right now of the DSL Giants Orange, who are 19 and 11 for that lead. 3 and 7 though, unfortunately, in the past 10. You can't have that if you want to win. Like, you cannot have that if you want to be good. And I think that stretch is what really killed them. You can't go 3 and 7. You just can't. One more minor league team to talk about because we're already at 40 minutes here. And that's the FCL Florida Complex League Pirates, who are 22 and 27 right now in the Florida Complex League South, 10.5 back of the Florida Complex League Rays. They are officially eliminated from that. Their last game of the season, I think, is July the 26th, which is coming up. So yeah, not much longer there with them. They are eliminated from winning the Florida Complex League South. That will likely either be won by the Florida Complex League Rays or the Florida Complex League Orioles, who are set free back. Their tragic number is 7. The FCL Twins are 5.5 back. Their tragic number is 4. And that's that, really. That's your minor league standings. Our minor league teams, I would say, in general, are doing pretty good. The low ball ones might not be that great right now, but Indy's doing good. Greensboro's doing good. Oh, my bad. We missed Bradenton. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We missed Bradenton. Let's see how they're doing. Bradenton is 500 right now, 10 and 10. 4.5 back at the Tampa Yankees, who are affiliated with New York, obviously. Bradenton is 6 and 4 over their past 10. So that's good for sure. Like I said, our minor league teams right now are doing very good. Indy's in first. Greensboro's in first. Altoona needs work. Bradenton might need a little work. And you need to work on that Florida Complex League too and the Dominican. Hopefully the draft does a good job at that for sure. But I trust it. We are real quickly now going to run through the Pirates' top prospects. And then we will talk about the draft and what the Pirates did. And we'll talk about the trade that the Pirates made on Friday night as well before we do the draft. But let's talk about our top prospects first. I'm just going to breeze through them real quick because nothing has really changed. And it's not worth talking about because we talk about this every weekend. It's the same thing. So I'm just breezing through it at this point until something changes, which will probably be in mid to late August. So we'll talk about more then. First on the prospects list, Seth Hernandez, right-handed pitcher, high A Greensboro, 2028. He's 20 years old still. Second, Edward Florentino, outfielder, first baseman, high A with Hernandez, Greensboro, 2028, 19 years old. Third, Hunter Barco, pitcher, AAA, 2026, 25 years old. Left-handed pitcher, though. Fourth, Youngston Garcia, outfielder, AAA 2026. Unfortunate he has not got more time up here yet, but well, it is what it is. I think he'll be a career AAA guy, in my opinion. Fifth, Termar Johnson, second baseman, AAA 2026, 22 years old. Garcia's 23, by the way, so just keep him in AAA the rest of the year at this point. It's unfortunate he's not up here yet, but that's life. We had 3 good draft picks in a row, though, so I'm not sweating it in the least. Now, if Lau leaves, which I hope doesn't happen, that's a different story. But that's life. 6, Lyde Sanford, shortstop, high A, 2028. 7th, Antoine Kelly, pitcher, Major League Baseball. He was just promoted recently. Came in today, did not have the best top of the 8th, but oh well, it is what it is. We were up for 12 runs. Who gives a crap? MLB, 2026, 22 years old. Sanford's 20, by the way. 8th, Rafael Flores Jr., who's up right now because of Endy's injury. He's catcher, first baseman. Obviously, MLB 2026, 2025, or he's 25 years old. He's 25 years old. Call up 2026. He's a placeholder. He's a good placeholder. He's a good third option for sure. So he's almost like the emergency quarterback if you want to use football terms. Like you have free guys. The NFL every week, you have 3 quarterbacks on your roster. You have a starter, you have a backup, you have an active who's your emergency quarterback. So that's almost like what he is, and keep it that way. I'm just keeping down here. He's going to be career AAA. Same likely for Youngston. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. 9th is Maryland Valdez, the magician. Yeah, we all know about him because he's on a tear right now. Outfielder, first base, MLB 2027. He's 22 years old. Keep him up there. Like, he needs to get off that list. 10th, Sammy Stafora, shortstop, high A 2028-21. Again, we have 2 shortstops in high A Greensboro. They're both supposed to be called up in 2028. They're both around the same age. trade one of these guys at the deadline and get me some bullpen outplays. Just do it, man. 11th, I'm just going to go for the top guys because a lot of these guys need to be graduated at this point. 11th is Wilbur Dotel, pitcher, AAA 2026. This 12th, Thomas Harrington, pitcher, AAA 2026. I imagine once they take Dotel and Valdez off, I imagine Harrington will slide up, but the draft pick could potentially replace one of those guys. I think the draft pick will likely replace Valdez. We'll get into him here in a minute. So, yeah, there's your top prospects. Alrighty, let's talk about the MLB draft now. We'll get to this trade here in 1 minute. I'm actually going to switch it around. Let's talk about the MLB draft here for a little bit. Now, see what the Pirates did. I really like the first, and I'll tell you some first-round picks I also liked a lot. The Pirates, with their first-round pick, selected LSU outfielder Derek Carrillo out of LSU. I like this pick a lot. He's obviously a little older, 6'2", 192, born May 24th, 2005. Guys, this is a really strong pick. I thought they were going to pick Jacob Lombard when he was there. Surprised me that they didn't, considering they love middle infielders. But Derek Carrillo, he's your 5th pick to the Pirates outfielder. I love this pick again. We needed more outfielders, I think, in our system. He's really good. I know our outfield right now is crowded, and our roster as a whole is crowded. But that does give you some more flexibility in case you wanted to move Garcia or potentially move a guy like or Edward Florentino. But this was a good pick because our top 30 is very scarce right now of outfielders. So we really needed to get an outfielder badly this draft. I was hoping potentially for Eric Booth Jr., who went to Baltimore. I think the guy is still there. But Derek Carrillo is still a good pick. I'm not going to complain about that in the least. For the second round, we're not going to do all 20 rounds. We'll just do maybe the first 5. For the second round, the Pirates selected Aiden Ruiz, a shortstop out of the Stony Brook High School in New York. This probably wasn't your best selection of a pick. You have a lot of middle infielders. You definitely need one, considering Johnson, Sanford. You have Faree right now, so you did need one. I probably would have waited around, though. But it's not bad, the need, but I would have probably waited. Then you got a second baseman with pick 51, Chris Rembard out of Auburn. That's another good pick. You do need more second basemen for sure. They're addressing their needs really well. I would possibly move Termarr Johnson at this point then and trust that Rembard or Jacob Gonzalez, who we just acquired, who I'll tell you about soon, I think that's his name, can play the position. So that's what I would do. But that's still a solid pick. Round 2, C, that's the Cubs. Round 3, Jackson DeCaro, a pitcher out of North Carolina, was our 3rd round pick. This is a really good pick, guys. I like this pick a lot. We got a pitcher in our system. We needed a pitcher, and this is a good one. Round 4, Andrew Giles, outfielder, 108th pick. That's, again, it's a good, solid pick, so I was happy about that. Outfielder. Round 4C, we didn't make a pick. Round 5, we picked Ryan Morahan, a pitcher out of North Carolina State. Another good pick for sure. Really like that we're getting North Carolina pitchers. Super psyched about that. Guys, I think we killed the first 5 rounds of the draft. Let's see what else we did. Because we only made 1 pick every round. I'm just going to go through them all just because I want to know them. Tyler Fay, Alabama, was your 6th round pick. Pitcher. Round 7. We're at the top of every round too, so it's easy, guys. We'll just go for them all. Round 7, Bryson Moore, pitcher, Florida State. Good pick. Can never have enough pitchers. Round 8, Alex Overbay, pitcher, Arizona State. Okay, now we're good with pitchers. I think we're good now. Round 9, Trey Phillips, third baseman, Georgia. That's a good pick for sure. You could never have enough third baseman. That's a good one. Round 10, Michael Gibson, pitcher, the Citadel. They love picking pitchers, and that's good. Round 11, Spencer Evans, pitcher, TNXL Academy out of Florida. Another pitcher. Wow, we love our pitchers. Rohan Leto, a pitcher out of San Diego State, your 12th round pick. Let's guess, round 13, it's going to be a pitcher, isn't it? Oh, it is a pitcher! Griffin Stieg, pitcher, Virginia Tech. Round 14, DeMarcus Ryo Carter, pitcher out of Heart Lake in Ontario. Round 15, it's going to be a pitcher. If it's a pitcher, I will give you a clap. Round 15, yes it is! Pitcher, Liam O'Leary, St. John's, New York. They freaking draft too many pitchers. And what do they pick in the 16th round? Another pitcher, Greg Ovell out of USC. Like, it's just hilarious. But a lot of other teams are picking pitchers too. Like, they use them as trade bait, I think, a lot. 17, Nathan Hyman, pitcher, Kennesaw State. Like, get an outfielder. Get another outfielder, for God's sakes. Like, we don't need this many pitchers. 18, Malachi Washington, outfielder, Parkview High School, Georgia. Thank God it's not another pitcher. It's ridiculous how many they drafted. 19, Andrew Duncan, Wright State, outfielder. Okay, maybe around 20 will be a pitcher. It is a pitcher, yeah. Dakota Stone, pitcher, North Florida. So that's your draft for the Pirates. I'll tell you my favorite round 1 picks, though. We drafted way too many pitchers, I think, but we'll probably need them all. Alrighty, let's look at round 1, my favorite picks. I liked what the White Sox did a lot with Rock Chalowski. That was a good pick. It was the right pick. Minnesota, they had a good pick with Von Lackey. Giants had a good pick with Jackson Flores. That's who I was hoping for. Unfortunately, the Giants did select him. Giants had a good pick. Orioles had a really good pick with Eric Booth Jr. Athletics had a good pick with Jer Burris. Marlins, I think they won the round. Jacob Lombard. Shortstop, he was in discussion for the number 1 pick. He's going to the Marlins. That was a good pick for them for sure. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm just talking while I read this. I don't know much of these other names, really. I don't follow the draft as much as I said. But I do think the Rays made a mistake with Emerson over Lackey. I think that was a bad call. I think the Royals made a mistake drafting Zion Rose and not Eric Booth. Braves, I think they could have probably used a guy like Jacob Lombard, but they didn't. I think that was bad. Rockies, they could have used Lombard as well. That was bad. I've heard good things about Jared Grindlinger, the Angels pick. Let's look at MLB draft grades. It's not like the NFL or NHL, like where the classes get easily ranked because it's tough. There doesn't look like there's a lot of grades, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll just skip that part. That's that for that. I'll tell you some top prospects that I think we could potentially move at the deadline now that we have an outfielder. We'll probably get the outfielder in the top 10 for sure. Maybe the shortstop, but I see that as unlikely. At this point, I would say since we drafted 1 trillion pitchers, you could probably move Hunter Barco at the deadline. Since we got that second baseman out of Auburn, you could probably move Termarr Johnson at the deadline. If Lau doesn't resign, you need to move Nicky G back there and get a third baseman. I would move Barco. I would be open to moving Termarr. I'd be open to moving Sammy Stafara or Sanford. I don't care which one goes. Preferably Stafara at the deadline. Thomas Harrington, you can move him. Easton Carmichael is another one I would move. Xander Moof, he's another pitcher I would move. And Johan De Los Santos. Those are some guys I think you need to look at moving at the deadline, for sure. Let's talk about this Pirates-White Sox trade here. I'll tell you my opinion on it because it's a good trade for us, I think. The White Sox used the 34th pick, which we traded them to draft Jim Thome, whatever you want to say it is, his son. So that was cool to see for sure, but rare trade. It was funny for sure, but let's talk about it here. Pirates received infielder Jacob Gonzalez and left-handed pitcher Brandon Eisert in exchange for Jaden Woods and the number 34th overall pick in the 2026 MLB draft. That was interesting to see for sure. I like this trade we made. I think getting a guy, I think Eisert's going to get better as time goes here. And I think Gonzalez is good to have for sure, especially since you don't want to play Cirillo Gonzalez every day. Maybe give Lyle a day off occasionally. And you obviously have Callahan still. I think getting a guy like Jacob Gonzalez, I know they talked about getting another middle infielder, but getting Jacob Gonzalez was key, if you want my honest opinion. I was so happy about this. I think he could have unrealized potential here. And I think Isert, I'm not as familiar with him. I'm not as a fan of this, but I like Gonzalez a lot. So I think that will be a good fit for sure. I do think we did a good job. Most say it was a slight overpay by us. Maybe it was a little bit, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. We're in a good position, so this is good. He'll play shortstop like, this is what Google AI says. The 24-year-old versatile infielder will likely play shortstop while Connor Griffin recovers from a broken thumb. 15th overall pick in 2023. That's good. He was good in AAA, hitting .320 with 19 home runs. Hopefully he translates that to the major league level. Brandon Iser, it's just good to have another arm in the bullpen for sure. The White Sox have the highest draft pool now with that 34th pick. And then Jaden Woods adds depth to their minor league system. So that's interesting for sure. But I like the trade, and I think we want it. Alrighty, now to conclude this video and send us into a little 2-week pause here, let's talk about the upcoming series in Ohio, New York, and Pennsylvania. It'll be an interesting week and a half here for the Pirates. Obviously, they have the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. Like I said, the All-Star Game's Tuesday night in Philadelphia at 8 o'clock p.m. I do think the NL wins it this year. I'll just say it this year. I'll give you my prediction. 8-5 NL. 2 days rest then. Then you come back. I think the ESPYs are this week too. ESPY. They're typically the Wednesday after the All-Star Game or the day after. I think they're this Wednesday at 8 p.m. That's interesting. In New York. Cool. But anyway, Wednesday and Thursday are off. The Pirates come back Friday to travel to Ohio to take on the Cleveland Guardians. 7:10 p.m. start on Friday night there. Saturday, 4:10 p.m. start against the Guardians in Cleveland. And Sunday, the series finale, 1:40 p.m. in Cleveland, July 19th. July 18th, Saturday, July 19th, Sunday. So July 17th for the 19th, we're in Cleveland. Monday, July 20th, we're in the city that never sleeps to take on the Bronx Bombers at Yankee Stadium, 7:05. Tuesday, July 21st, 7:05 start. And then Wednesday, July 22nd, a 1:35 start against the Yankees. So it'll be an interesting road trip for sure. Thursday is a day off. Friday, we come home for Yinzerpalooza weekend against the Chicago Cubs. Friday night's game, July 24th at 6:40 p.m. It's a free t-shirt giveaway, so that's cool. Saturday night, 6:40 p.m. against the Cubs. Dr. Robbie bobblehead for Yinzerpalooza. That'll be a good one to click for sure for all bobblehead fans. So 6:40. And then Sunday, July 26th, 1:35 p.m., the kids will receive a Daniel Tiger Plus giveaway. So that's that for your Pirates this week. Let's look at the pitching matchups now. Something that potentially could happen, I don't think it's going to happen just because of everything that's going on. They potentially could release the 2027 MLB schedule, weirdly enough, this week. I know they've done it in the past, before during the All-Star week. I don't think they will do it this year because, to be honest with you, I doubt much of that schedule even gets played because of the labor dispute. And I don't think they're going to give people something that they don't feel comfortable with because people are going to be very, very hesitant, I think, with that, considering the fact that people will most likely view it as unlikely to be played. So, or they will play a sort of revised schedule like they did during COVID. Like, it'll almost, when they release it, it could be this week, but when they do release that schedule, it's going to get mocked relentlessly. Trust me, because it's probably fake. Not literally fake, but like fake meaning it's probably not going to get played that exact way because of everything that's going to happen. And to be quite frank with you, they need a salary cap in the MLB. Like, you can't have the same freaking goofballs running the show every year. Like, no more billion-dollar contracts. Like, seriously, like, give the small market teams a chance for once. Come on. Be better. It's going to get ugly, though. That's why. All right, Friday night in Cleveland, the pitching matchup will likely be Jared Jones with a 4.37 ERA against Gavin Williams with a 3.81. Hopefully Jones does what he did to the Braves to Cleveland. That'll be nice, won't it? Saturday, 4:10 p.m., Paul Skeens. Why is he starting Saturday? Like, that's a little weird. Saturday, Skeens is expected to make the start. 3.58 ERA against Tanner Bebe. 3.90 ERA. I'd like to take 2 this series. I just don't know that we will. Sunday, July 19th. Braxton Ashcraft with his 3.49 ERA is expected to go against Parker Messick with a 2.73 ERA. I think we could take 2 in this series, but I think we're only going to end up taking 1. I think we might win. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to take 2 this series. I like our chances. I think we take 2 this series against the Guardians. That'd be huge, and I think we do. I think we ride this momentum high. Monday, July 20th in the Bronx. Your pitching matchup as of now looks like Mitch Keller with a 5.14 against Ryan Levers with a 4.15. Not good. Tuesday, Bubba Chandler with a 4.77 ERA against Elmer Rodriguez with a 4.76 ERA. If you take 2 against Cleveland, you want to win every series, you want to sweep every series, but I wouldn't be furious if we lost the series in New York if we win the series in Cleveland. You just have to win 1, I think. All right, let's look. Wednesday, it looks like Jared Jones with 4.37 ERA will go against former Pirate ace Garrett Cole with a 4.04. I think we take 2 in Cleveland, and I think we take 1 in New York as of now. It's way too early to tell, but I think we take 2 in Cleveland and 1 in New York. Friday the 24th against the Cubs for Yinzerpalooza, the next home series. Matthew Boyd with 4.31 Friday night against Paul Skeens with a 3.58. Could win that. Saturday. Skeens pitches well against the Cubs here, too, so I like that one. Saturday, we've got, looks like, Jameson Taillon with 5.19 against Braxton Ashcraft with a 3.49. Yeah, that's what you want. I actually like this new rotation alignment if it holds. I like it a lot. I think it's going to benefit us well, for sure. And then on Sunday, looks like we've got Colin Ray with a 4.75 against Mitch Keller with a 4.15 or a 5.14. I think here's the deal. I think if we take 2 against Cleveland, 1 against New York, and 2 against the Cubs, that's 5-4, and that puts you at 55-51, right where you'd want to be. If we could just do that, I think we're in a really good spot. So I think your targets need that Cleveland series. I think is going to be key because I think you can win the series in Pittsburgh against the Cubs. I truly do believe it. I think you can. You're probably not going to win the series in New York against the Yankees. Yankee Stadium's a tough one. The Yankees are good this year, and that's always tough. So I don't think we'll win that series. Your key is going to be how you respond coming out of this Brewers series, heading into the Guardians at the break. That's going to be your key. It really is. So yeah, I think how you start off this break, come out of this break against Cleveland is going to be used for not just this series, but the second half in general. The goal needs to be to take 2 in Cleveland, 1 in New York, just don't get swept there, and then 2 against the Cubs. If you do all that, you're 55-51. And that puts you in a good position, and you're probably 2 to 3 games back, maybe even 1 if you're lucky. I doubt you're more than 3, and I doubt you're less than 1. But I think you're in a great position if you're 55-51. So I'm happy. I'm excited. I think we're in good shape. We had a really good first half. Thank you for all the support for this channel throughout the first half of the baseball MLB season. It means a lot to me. I've greatly enjoyed this journey so far with you guys, and I can't wait to freaking continue it in the second half. It's going to be a really fun second half now. We only got, I want to say, 11 more weeks left in the season. When we come back, there will be 9 weeks left of baseball, guys. So it's going by fast. The season's winding down. 65 more tilts to go. 35-30 gives you a prayer. 40-25 gets you in. Anywhere in between that, you're in good shape. So you got to finish somewhere in between that. I would love that. That's what we need right now. Finish in between 35 and 39, 40 wins in the second half, and we're a freaking playoff team, guys. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you once again for the support in the first half of the year. It means a lot to me, and I greatly appreciate it. I will see you back here in 2 weeks for the second half of the season, which is going to be an insane final 9 episodes, 10 counting the end of the year, so hopefully more. We're going to have some special stuff, guys. Stay tuned. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. And as always, peace and God bless. See you guys once again in 2 weeks. And have a good 2 weeks. Enjoy the All-Star break, and see you then. By the way, one more quick thing. I'm not going to be doing any content at all Monday for Thursday. I'm taking that time off for myself. It's the All-Star break. Let's give this channel a break too. So I'll see this show back in 2 weeks. I'll do the pre- and post-game show starting Friday again. So see you guys soon, guys. Thanks again. Bye. God bless too.